So I want everyone to know, and I want everybody in America to know, that we have a stake in the future of this region. Because what happens here has a direct effect on our lives at home. This is where we engage in much of our commerce and buy and make our goods. And this is where we can export more of our own products and create jobs back home in the process. This is a place where the risk of a nuclear arms race threatens the security of the wider world, and where extremists who defile great religion plan attacks on both our continents. And there can be no solution to our energy security and our climate challenge without the rising powers of developing nations of the Asia Pacific. To meet these common challenges, the United States looks to strengthen old alliances and build new partnerships with the nations of this region. To do this, we look to America's treaty alliances with Japan, South Korea, Australia, Thailand, and the Philippines. Alliances that are not historical documents from a bygone era, but abiding commitments to each other that are fundamental to our shared security. And these alliances continue to provide the bedrock of security and stability that has allowed the nations and peoples of this region to pursue opportunity and prosperity that was unimaginable at the time of my first childhood visit to Japan. And even as American troops are engaged in 2 wars around the world, our commitment to Japan's security and to Asia's security is unshaken. And it can be seen in our deployment throughout the region, above all through our young men and women in uniform, of whom I am so proud. And we look to emerging nations that are poised as well to play a larger role, both in the Asia-Pacific region and the wider world. Places like Indonesia and Malaysia that have adopted democracy, developed their economies, and tapped the great potential of their own people. We look to rising powers with the view that in the 21st century, the national security and economic growth of one country need not come at the expense of another. I know there are many who question how the United States perceives China's emergence. But as I have said, in an interconnected world, power does not need to be a zero-sum game, and nations need not fear the success of another. Cultivating spheres of cooperation, not competing spheres of influence, will lead to progress in the Asia Pacific. As with any nation, America will approach China with a focus on our interests. And it's precisely for this reason that it is important to pursue pragmatic cooperation with China on issues of mutual concern. Because no one nation can meet the challenges of the 21st century alone. And the United States and China will both be better off when we are able to keep them together. That's why we welcome China's effort to play a greater role on the world stage, a role in which their growing economy is joined by growing responsibility. China's partnership has proved critical in our efforts to jumpstart economic recovery. China has promoted security and stability in Afghanistan and Pakistan, and it is now committed to the global non-proliferation regime and supporting the pursuit of denuclearization of the Korean Peninsula. The United States does not seek to contain China, nor does a deeper relationship with China mean a weakening of our bilateral alliances. On the contrary, the rise of a strong and prosperous China can be a source of strength for the community of nations. And so in Beijing and beyond, we will work to deepen our strategic and economic dialogue and improve communication between our militaries. Of course, we will not agree on every issue, and the United States will never waver in speaking up for the fundamental values that we hold dear, and that includes respect for the religion and cultures of all people, because support for human rights and human dignity is ingrained in America. But we can move these discussions forward in a spirit of partnership rather than ranking. In addition to our bilateral relations, we also believe that the growth of multilateral organizations can advance the security and prosperity of this region. I know that the United States has been disengaged from many of these organizations in recent years. So let me be clear, those days have passed. As an Asia-Pacific nation, the United States expects to be involved in the discussion shape the future of this region and to participate fully in appropriate organizations as they are established and evolve. That is the work that I will begin on this trip. The Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation Forum will continue to promote regional commerce and prosperity, and I look forward to participating in that forum this evening. ASEAN will remain a catalyst for Southeast Asian dialogue, cooperation, and security, and I look forward to becoming the first American president to meet with all 10 ASEAN leaders. The United States looks forward to engaging with the East Asia Summit more formally as it plays a role in addressing the challenges of our time. We seek this deeper and broader engagement because we know our collective future depends on it. And I'd like to speak for a bit about what that future might look like and what we must do to advance our prosperity, our security, and our universal values and aspirations. First, we must strengthen our economic recovery and pursue growth that is both balanced and sustained. The quick, unprecedented, and coordinated action taken by Asia-Pacific nations and others has averted economic catastrophe and helped us to begin to emerge from the worst recession in generations. And we have taken the historic step of reforming our international economic architecture so that the G20 is now the premier forum for international economic cooperation. This shift to the G20, along with the greater voice that is being given to Asian nations and international financial institutions, clearly demonstrates the broader, more inclusive engagement that America seeks in the 21st century. And as a key member of the G8, Japan has and will continue to play a leading and vital role in shaping the future of the international financial architecture.